In this video, we are going to explore 5 hidden traps that could be sabotaging your menopausal transition, especially if you are a busy, working professional woman who is juggling intense career and personal life demands. As we reach our mid to late 30s, let's take a look at what's going on in the background. Bam. This is a chart of our hormonal changes. Now, I go into this chart in great detail in another video called The Ages and Stages of Menopause Truthbomb. But just for our purposes now, look at what is starting at around age 35. And what you see there that's the most dramatic part of the chart is what happens when we're into our 40s, and then the drop is what you see in the 50s. So when you look at the combination of this juggling of modern working women with this chart of what's happening in terms of these hormonal fluctuations, is it any wonder that so many women experience burnout during this time of our life? Yeah, it's kind of crazy. So let's take a closer look at 5 traps that can be contributing to sabotaging us during this time, especially as busy working women. The first trap, that we are so busy, focused on our careers and our responsibility to others, like in our personal life, that we are not paying enough attention to ourselves and what's going on with our bodies at this critical time of our life, which leads us to the second trap, which is stress. Stress is actually a factor in making certain symptoms worse, like hot flashes. And there are over 30 other symptoms that we're not going to get into right now. We'll do that in another video. When we're under chronic stress, constant pressure and stress can compound the physiological challenges that our bodies are going through and make our symptoms worse. And so a third trap is what I call like the triad of ignorance, denial, and stigma. And confession, I was very guilty of this myself. So I spent the first at least 5 years of perimenopause in complete ignorance. I was oblivious. I didn't even know that perimenopause was a thing. And oh my goodness, the suffering that I endured. And partly because in my ignorance, I equated hot flashes with menopause. And if I wasn't experiencing hot flashes, I didn't need to think about any of this stuff. Now, mind you, we're talking 20, 25 years ago, right? Because I'm 62 years old. And then when I did finally have my first hot flash, in my mid 40s, then I was in denial. No, I'm too young. It can't be happening to me. And I paid a price for my denial as well. And then you could say that the stigma contributes to the denial because menopause can be equated with the aging process, and we are in a youth-obsessed culture. Who wants to face that? So the ignorance, the denial, and the stigma can feed off of each other, and together absolutely contribute to us having a more difficult experience during our menopausal transition. And then the fourth trap that we can get into, and it ties very much into the last one, is there is a huge lack of information, good information, knowledge, and support when it comes to menopause. Now, mind you, there is so much more than there was 25 years ago. So again, I don't want to sound like I'm complaining, but still, I'm amazed when I'm talking with women how little women know about menopause and what it involves. And this is not our fault. It's like if you take, for example, when we finally go to the doctor, and this is a truth bomb alert, truth bomb alert. Most doctors get little or no training on menopause when they are in medical school. Even gynecologists, unless they have taken on continuing education, certification programs, or some kind of specialization. And unfortunately, there are far too few of such doctors. But then let's say we'll look elsewhere. Yes, there's more information on the internet than there was 20 years ago, but so much of it is overwhelming or confusing or invokes fear. And then the last trap, the fifth and last trap, is bad habits that can really be a huge compounding factor. Like, I have completely given up alcohol. It's been at least 7 years. I loved, a couple of glasses of red wine, but you talking about a major trigger for hot flashes? Oh my goodness. OMG. And also caffeine. I drank so much coffee and then black tea. But when I gave caffeine up, like when I gave up alcohol, my symptoms improved dramatically. Now, they didn't go completely away, but improved dramatically. And what I would say is that when it comes to some of these bad habits, is that so often a woman might be in search of remedies or tricks to find relief. And I'll just say this, when it comes to natural remedies, I'll give just one example, like let's say black cohosh. That's one of the more popular herbs for menopause. I can tell you from my experience, my bad habits were more powerful than an herb like black cohosh. So again, the 5 traps of focusing on work and others at our own expense, stress, the triad of ignorance, denial, and stigma, then the other triad of lack of good information, knowledge, and support, and then lastly, bad habits. And so, great. Now, what do I do about it? In the next video, we will be exploring 5 hacks and tips to overcome the trap so that you can have relief and positive experiences during your menopausal transition. And there'll even be a couple of bonus hacks that focus on what I am especially passionate about, because I have 2 messages I hope that you will take away from Turn On Your Menopausal Superpowers. That one, so much of the suffering that women endure during the menopausal transition, it is unnecessary. The second message, and I'm just dedicated to, is that there are opportunities during the menopausal transition. There are what I call menopausal superpowers. If you learn the secrets to turn them on, that we can leverage the hormonal changes at each stage of the menopausal transition to actually enhance our lives with the maximum fulfillment and joy, to release menopausal mojo. Meno Mojo. Thank you for watching. I'm Lil Glamben with Turn On Your Menopausal Superpowers, your go-to for inspiration, optimism, and empowerment when it comes to menopause from peri to post. So please comment below, like if any of this resonated with you, and share your experience and what has worked for you in your menopausal transition. And please subscribe if you are looking for more content that is encouraging, empowering around menopause. And I'll see you in the next video.